no sense when you have the person in that position that you would then pull your gun and point your gun.
But we also want to warn viewers you may find the video disturbing to watch and may want to turn away.
I'm screaming out the rain, stand up. They shot the little homie while he got in handcuffs. I'm screaming out the rain, stand up. They shot the little homie while he got in handcuffs. I'm screaming out the rain, I'm screaming out the rain, I'm screaming out the rain, I'm screaming out the rain. Everybody happy cause Obama was elected, but you stupid if you think they gon' stop shooting us like Cupid in our faces on the basis that we black. Yeah, you got your president, but we gon' show you how to act. Run, Dellums, what you gonna do? Man, our kids are getting killed by the boys in blue. Man, we bout to fight back, now it's all on you. Uptown, BMO, NBA, if y'all ready to let me know. Let's go. Now I got a great question, I don't want y'all to lose sight. Hold on, let me, I'm gonna tell you what happened if that kid was back. Hell no.
Like I say, y'all talk to me with quick, y'all get good. I told you some big news. You just get murdered in the middle of the street. Cops on the beat. Now it's daddy got Obama, but the still ain't free. Stand up, that's like a little homie, why you got your handcuffs? I'm screaming out the rain. Stand up, that's like a little homie, why you got your handcuffs? I'm screaming out the rain. Light us up in the sky for the youngin' that just died. The baby, yo, I walk through the concrete jungle, trying to shake the evil jealousy and the police. Get my shot, Oscar Grant in handcuffs, Sean Bell in cold blood. Ricky never seen the news. Bullets lift him out his shoes. Welcome to the projects. It's stuff around the edge of chest. Talk about a possession now. It's been bad.
Officer will not face charges of the death of a teenager who was shot with a taser, but the case could still be heading to court. An attorney for the teen's family says there are still several questions about the deadly confrontation. WCNC reporter Mark Lewis live at 6 with more on what he's like. Mark,
this autopsy report shows Daryl Turner did not have any illicit drugs in his system when an officer shot him with a taser back in March. And Turner's mom tells me he was involved for 17 years. Now a jury could be asked to review exactly what happened in the final seconds of Turner's life. Police were called to this North Charlotte food line back in March. Inside, 17-year-old Daryl Turner was allegedly arguing with a man. The officer used a taser similar to this to subdue Turner, but the teen died. We strongly disagree with this suggestion that Daryl
Polynesian saying with I am too Oscar Grant. Politics all put aside.
This video from a store surveillance camera shows Turner complied with all of the officer's commands. The lawyer now wants to know exactly how Turner was shot with the officer's taser and whether that weapon was used repeatedly to stun the teen.
Home of the pimps, blue and the black panthers, independent black, so you know we all black mass. Die like a man, before I live like some upbeat. Die on my feet, before I live on my two knees. New den era, gotta change how we do things.
Taser report says officers are unfair. The attorney's office has reviewed this case, determined the officer's use of force was justified.
Their own dash cam camera was rolling before police caught up with a man who was wanted on a domestic assault warrant. According to this federal lawsuit, Carlos Farrell's ex-wife, Tiffany, called police when she spotted him. She was there, standing in the background, when police officer Chris Melton ordered Farrell out of his car.
Put your hands up and get out of the car!
Mr. Farrell gets out of the car, obviously hands raised.
Ben Winters and attorney Blair Durham are representing Farrell. They say police used excessive force here when they arrested the 28-year-old. In the video, a police canine being held by Officer Jeff Johnson bites what appears to be a compliant Carlos Farrell.
Your dog just ate my leg off.
One of the officers that has control of the dog allows the dog to attack Mr. Farrell even after he's on the ground.
The attorneys also accuse Cookeville police officer Chris Melton of planting drugs on their client.
Now the cops leave. Here's the hand signal.
Officer Melton searches Farrell's pockets at least a half-dozen times. Then, Durham says, another officer appears to give a signal with his hand. Melton reaches into his own right pocket, looks into the camera, and Durham says that's when Melton puts a bag of marijuana into Farrell's pocket.
Whoa, Carlos! That's bad, dude. Little weed, bro. Now you got another freaking charge. How about that?
5 Cookeville police officers are named in the suit. Melton is on administrative leave with pay.
If they can tell each other to plant drugs with just a hand gesture, just doing that, you've got to wonder how many other people have gone through this.
A 29-year-old man from Washington State remains in a coma in critical condition at this hour. Surveillance video shows a sheriff's deputy slamming that man into a tiled wall. The family of the victim say he was a victim of excessive force. Officials say deputies pursued the man after a witness wrongly identified him as a suspect in an assault.
Tonight, a demand for answers from the family of a man killed in a deadly police-involved shooting. It happened last night just outside 370 Lafayette Avenue in the Clinton Hills section of Brooklyn. That's where Eyewitness News reporter Nina Pineda is live with more. Nina?
Sandra, the victim did not live here, but he came here every weekend and stayed here to take his mother to church. But this Sunday, instead of praising, this family is planning a funeral, and they want to know why. The victim came out onto his stoop. Also near the stoop, an undercover officer. But how the confrontation unfolded from there is what the family is disputing.
My son was blessed be the peacemaker. Oh God, he don't be involved in no violence. He always tried to make peace.
The victim's wheelchair-bound mother cannot figure out how her son, Army veteran Shem Walker, walked out of the family brownstone to smoke a cigarette and wound up shot to death by undercover police.
He said, Mommy, I'm going for a smoke. And that was the last time. Oh my God.
The undercover officers were in the middle of a buy-in bus last night around 7:20 p.m. when the NYPD says Walker began beating the backup officer over the head as the officer was observing his partner make a drug buy. And the NYPD says the firearm discharged after Walker grabbed the weapon with both hands.
He was killed. He didn't die. He didn't die of natural causes. They killed him. And I don't have my daddy anymore.
At no time did the undercover identify himself as a police officer, which the NYPD says is standard procedure during the dangerous buy and bust operations.
Any negative thing that they said about him in the newspapers is absolutely false.
Family members dispute the police version of events, believing the 49-year-old died trying to protect his mom, her property, and the neighborhood from crime by telling what he thought was someone up to no good to get off his stoop.
He did not want anyone sitting on his stoop. He had asked others to leave his property in the past, and they obliged. Why did not these undercover officers leave his stoop, and why did an altercation ensue, and why is he now dead?
The officer involved in the shooting suffered a laceration.